Hey guys, Casual Crono here. We are going to cover my various Superboss teams in this video. It is May 2025 and it's been a little while since I last posted a video. Not that I'm not enjoying the game. I've been logging in every day, running my keys and doing things like that. It's just that I'm a teacher. This is the busy part of my year where I have seniors trying to graduation of course, and then all the other students that are trying to finish up school. And we have only a few days left, but fortunately all of my responsibilities, all of my coaching stuff is over for now. My grades are up to date. All the paperwork that we teachers have to do is up to date. So I finally have some time to enjoy the game. So I'm back to making videos, and we're going to start with a long overdue video from my rather popular series, the Superboss team. So one of the reasons that I have not updated this video, I think the last video was December 2024, so it's been 5 months. Really, the issue is these teams have been doing really well overall, some better than others, and they haven't had that much tweaks. So my Earth team is still the same, my Water team is still the same. Guess we should switch to regular Annabelle for that. My Wind team is still the same. The Fire team is still the same. The Thunder team is mostly the same. I forget, actually it's been so long. I'm not sure if I had Obero and Izuna combined in the December video, but that's what I'm using now, so that might have changed a little bit. My Crystal team, I'm using Nilia now instead of Mistrari. And my Null team, I'm playing around. I really loved having Yuna in my Null team, but I've been playing with Yakumo, another style, and that's been working well as well, so I'm not sure if maybe my Unfa needs to leave, or maybe it's time for Iffy to be removed. So, but overall, my teams are still very powerful. My Shade Zone team I'm still developing, so I'm not fully covering that one. So, and then I've been farming as well. Let's see, anything else that's been going on lately? I think that's mostly everything. You'll notice that some of my characters now have new styles. But for the purposes of this video, we're going to stick with what I've been using. So, let's get started with one of my weaker teams actually, my Earth team. My Earth team is currently Mayunfa Alter, Shannon Alter, Claude ES, and Bertrand Stellar Awakened. Back row support, Deirdre and Shannon. Sidekicks, Tetra and Gunts. Their gear technically doesn't really matter. I have Gunts for the aura. When the AF gauge is empty, everyone's stats goes up. And Tetra basically for the heals, the improvement in hit points and MP, and resistances. So let's look at the team. Here's my Unfa Alter, and you can see the gear that she has. Some of the newer grastas, power of offense, and then earth or fire or wind, you'll see that popping up in the teams. As long as earth stance is up, earth damage is improved by 15%. So I threw that on my Unfa. It does lower her hit points compared to what she used to have, but that's the cost of doing business. I have an HP 2000 badge on her, and the Purity Staff is upgraded from the Wandering Blacksmith, so that over time, if it's a longer and longer fight, she takes less and less damage. Shannon is geared pretty much the same way she's been geared for, feels like a year now. I have a plus 50 power badge. It's possible I might have had a plus 40 back in December, but otherwise she's pretty much the same as she's always been. Claude has gear that is designed to boost his health. I got from the Phantom Crystal Dimension, I finally got enough paw print stamps to get the 1750 hit point badge, so that's what he's wearing right now. And then he has Power of Awakening Sword, Sound Body Sword, Enhance if Max HP Sword. And then so he doesn't get knocked out, I have things like the Smoke Drift Bangle, giving him some resistances, so hopefully he can resist some things like stuns and sleeps. Illusion Speed I have chosen because it gives him health. And then Bertrand. Fishhook Spear gives health and technically a little bit of regen, and over time he takes less damage, which for a tank is a good thing. Elpis Bangle gives health. HP badge, he has a 2000 HP badge. And then all grasta that are giving him hit points and giving him HP as far as the auras. He does have his true Magister Proof, giving him another 900 hit points and 15 endurance. Skills. This is, and it depends on the fight. You all know this. My general skills are this for Bertrand. Whoops. These for Claude. These for Shannon. And Myunfa. Now, one thing I don't like about my team, just being honest with you, she does not have an attack skill. She's part of an Earth team. Her only Earth attack skill is T-Break. And I would love to fit that in, but I like Please because it will improve Shannon's damage. I like I'll Do My Best because it's a prayer and I just like prayers. She herself gains a shield equal to 30% of her max health, which is one reason why I bump up her health. And all of the buff effects are increased based on the number of Earth allies. This is an Earth team, so all of these numbers, the buffs are really basically doubled, 100%, 100%, 100%. And then Charity Blend. Alter Shannon is able to deploy an awakened Earth zone, but she has to do, there have to be moves done in a normal Earth zone in order for that to happen. If the boss, for example, overwrites or deploys their own zone, then without Charity Blend or without another skill, I have no way to redeploy Earth Zone. So since I only have 3 slots, I kind of feel those 3 are necessary, which means during an AF burst, she has no way to improve the combo rate or to keep the AF bar going longer. So I'm not thrilled about that, but that's kind of where we are with the team. So that was the gear. Those were the skills. Let's go kill something. For the example fight for the Earth team, I am going to Iscariot Dawning Hour, where we will face the Shadow of the Swordsman. Basically Curio with some HP stoppers. And here's how the flow of the Earth team works. So, I usually stick my debuffs, rage, etc. on the 3rd skill. So I like to do the 3rd skill for debuffs, 2nd skill for buffs, and 1st skill is what I spam in an AF burst. So we are going to deploy an Earth Zone, reduce slash and earth resistance, reduce enemies' power, intellect and speed, improve party's physical resistance, and get rage going and pain and reduce some more power. So those are the 3s. So then we're going to start praying. Buff. Buff. And technically we're inflicting rage again, but he's also improving his health, so kind of a buff. And then we're going to spam all 1s, which in Myunfa's case is Please, which will buff up Shannon. She will do her very damaging attack, Epée de Sanction. It ignores target defenses and stacks elemental earth breaks. He will attack and restore health and awaken the zone if it's not already awakened, and Bertrand will use his Kingdom Spear. So we're going to do all 3s, all 2s, and then all 1s. 3, 3, 3, 3. 2, 2, 2, 2, all 1s. And we'll see how much we can get. Alright, looks like we hit the first HP stopper. You can see Bertrand already has a lot of health. This fight, it's not terribly necessary, but Claude has a skill called Empathy, and among other things, Empathy can also improve maximum health. So if I feel like this is a fight where my tank needs a tremendous amount of health, I could Empathy Bertrand. Shannon has the least amount of health of the team. If this is a fight that's heavy on AE damage, I could Empathy Shannon and give her more health. In fact, just so you can see how much health is gained, I'm going to go ahead and do that. In the meantime, she's going to Epée de Sanction. We are going to Please, and we are going to Guardian Lance again, because this is a stacking HP buff.
Got ya.
We hit another HP stopper. Here goes that Empathy. You'll see that now both of them have close to 14,000 health, and she only had 3,700 to start with. So imagine doing that to Bertrand, for example. Okay, third turn. I could continue to Guardian Lance and continue to build up his health. If I am running low on Iron Wall stacks, I could Kingdom Spear. The Pain and Rage only lasts for 3 turns, so it's a good idea to make sure it's still on there, which it is in this case. So we'll Guardian Lance. Both of these are 5-turn buffs and debuffs, so he can just attack again. She'll attack again, because this is a 3-turn and 3-turn debuff, and we have not used up those turns yet. And once again, my Unfist just kind of standing here doing whatever. I guess I could repray, though I don't really need to. So, doesn't really matter as long as Shannon goes, not a problem. And you saw that Shannon was doing about 1 billion per hit, and that's just with this little bit of build-up. So that is my Superboss Earth team and how they function in a fight. My next team is my Water team. Felmina ES is the main damage dealer, Ilulu and Elseal are support, and Dunrith is the tank. I have Annabelle and Zaviro in the background for grasta holding. Sidekicks, Tetra, and Gunts for the same reasons. Gunts is aura, and technically Tetra's healing and aura. For Felmina, here is her gear. She does have the plus 50 power badge. Ilulu has Mujima necklace, a 2000 HP badge, and grasta that all are designed to buff up people who have axes, aka Felmina. Ilulu does a decent amount of damage as well. If I wanted to sacrifice a little bit of this and gave her like poison grastas and stuff like that, I could. But what I've found so far is that keeping her alive and making sure Felmina is doing a lot of damage tends to be a little more helpful, at least for me and how I play. Next we have Elseal. She is holding Illusion Speed, Elpis Bangle. She has the 1750 HP badge from the Phantom Crystal Dimension. And then she has 2 grasta that are improving her health and the Power of Offense Water grasta, new with the most recent 2025 content. And then we have Dunrith, our tank. And I use the term somewhat loosely. He is geared basically for survival and resistances. He has the Wandering Blacksmith upgraded Purity Staff, the Lustrous Ring for the luck. He also has a 2000 HP badge, and then he has 3 grasta, all giving as much health as I can. and technically the Orpheus proof, which does nothing for him. So I use the term loosely. As far as tanks, I really feel like he's my weakest one. He needs critical... he's a critical guard tank. It basically means he needs a weapon or he needs a source to give him 100% critical rate, and he needs a very high amount of luck. Like, I could give him a luck badge if I wanted to, which would improve his defenses, but in this case it would also subtract 2,000 from his health, so kind of either or situation. So that is my main team. Annabelle has grasta that are all designed to beef up Felmina. Same with Zaviro. Now, one of the newer, I guess I shouldn't say character because it's LCO. I have her LCO AS form. I really haven't had any time to play with it. I got the quests done, yay. But I have not really played with her new skills. In addition, she is not Stellar Awakened, so I don't have her Stellar skill. So I don't know if she might actually be better or not than normal style LCO, but that's for me to play with this summer now that school is almost out and I actually have some time. So this is the current water team, and let's go ahead and see them in action. To show off the water team, we are going to beat up the Mysterious Chaos Ogre hard. A tier 10 Superboss according to the wiki. It has a curse, so the enhance if max HP grasta that are equipped aren't really ever going to be active. But aside from that, it's a good way to showcase this team and how they flow. Haha, flow because of the water team. Alright, the boss has a 35 stack barrier that we need to get rid of. So we are going to go ahead, inflict rage, and get counterattack going. We are going to improve weak point damage and all of that. We're going to inflict pain. And she is going to torrent. Turn 2. He is now going to give a shield to the whole party. She's going to buff up the team. She's going to reduce slash resistance. And we are going to averse.
7.
You can see because of Dunra's shield, the team is taking very little damage. The shield is down to 3 stacks. We've cast our 3s, we've cast our 2s, so now we're going to hit the 1 skills. So, Invaterio, Lyra Tizona, sorry, Anima Amaryllis, and Rafali Glacy. Alright, you can see damage is occurring now. The barrier has been broken. The boss is mad. And the barrier is back up, but the team is already starting to chew through it. And we have a full AF gauge. If you are unfamiliar with how Felmina ES works, when she attacks the enemy, you will notice that there's a stack, this 50 stack. Every time a water type attack is made, it stacks, and once you hit 50, if she casts Shattered Glass, she deploys an Awakened Sacred Water stance. You'll notice that here on turn 4, we've lost the initial awakened water zone. So we're going to blow the AF gauge. She is going to shatter glass, and we will be back in an awakened water zone. After that, we're just going to go ahead. The boss only has 7 stacks of that barrier. We're going to chew through that very quickly, and we're just going to cast all ones. So we're going to do shatter glass, and then all ones. Shatter glass, all ones. We're back in our awakened water zone. You can see at the top, the boss has already been defeated. And you'll see the team doing massive amounts of damage. In fact, if I feel like it, I can go ahead and redo the 3s. I could redo the 2s, because a lot of them have worn off by now, being like a 3-turn type of skill. But there you go. That is how the water team works with each other. I guess I should say that's how my water team works with each other. One drawback to my water and my earth teams: the main damage dealers, Falmina and Shannon. Their biggest attack, Epée de Sanction, attacks once. Falmina, her biggest attack, Raphael Galassi, it attacks once. Now there are some follow-up attacks thanks to link skills and stuff like that, but neither one of them is hitting for a tremendous number of times. Most of the rest of the teams, the main damage dealer has either multiple attacks or their attack hits like 4 or 5 times. So that's kind of the difference between my earth and water team versus the rest. I realize that these are probably my 2 weakest teams. In fact, you may have seen one of my videos a few weeks ago when I went to the parallel time dimension Nagsham and just tested every single team on the new test dummy. And definitely by far, earth and water were the weakest 2 teams. So that tells me, looking ahead, if a really powerful water or earth character comes along, I might want to consider pulling for them, because they might be a better, oops, not my farming team, they might be a better fit than some of the characters that I'm currently using. So that said, let's move on to some of my stronger teams. My wind team is probably my favorite team, tied very closely with magic, and it's all because of Sesta. If you're able to pull Sesta, she's almost like an I win button for the game, especially once you can build a very solid team around her. The team I've built, and I'm not saying it's the best team, but it's a very good team. I have Sesta, Subami Altar, Melody, and Shani Altar with Otoa and Tome in the background. Sidekicks, once again, Tetra and Gunts, mainly for the auras, and Tetra for the healing. Sesta is normal style. She has Elpis, Dryads, a plus 50 power badge, and just the typical Power of Pain combos and Windburn Pain. I have gone ahead and gotten her Awakened Fenrir proof. One of the reasons my DPS characters, as you can see, support characters tend to have lots of extra health. 8,000, 6,000. My DPS characters go all in for the pain grasta, so their health tends to be very, very low. The awakened grastas, or enhanced, or whatever the E is for, gives them an extra 900 health for sure, along with all the general stats. So I feel it's a good idea to give the main DPS characters this, if nothing else, just for a little extra health, just in case the tank isn't quite able to cover everything. It's also why she's glowing in the background there, that little blue glow. So that's Sesta. Subami, equipped as such. She has the Steely Resolve badge. It's only 800 health, but it gives her hold ground. Again, just in case something goes wrong. If I really wanted to, I could give her the 2000 HP badge and really improve her health, but I lose the hold ground in the process. Which is better? I really don't know, but this has been working so far. She has the Byakuya necklace, which gives her stats resistances, more power, more speed. And I chose the Cherry Blossom gloves because over time she takes less damage. She is very capable of doing lots of damage on her own, but in this case, Sesta is the one doing the massive amounts of damage, so I see her as slightly more of a support role. Again, everyone is free to gear characters however they wish. Since she is support, I do have the Enhance if max HP Wind Grasta and the new Power of Offense Wind Grasta. I have Melody, geared for defense, geared for HP, and she is holding the Resonant Power Shadow Grasta. It improves damage per shadow ally. This particular team, Melody is the only light character. Sesta, Tsubame, and Shani are all shadow, so I don't quite get the full 30% extra damage, but I get whatever 3/4 of it is, 22.5 or whatever they calculate it. And Shani is holding this gear. She also has the critical guard defenses, which means I want a very, very high luck, and I want a 100% critical damage at all times. The Elpis hammer gives me that critical rate of 100%. The Void hammer is also a good choice if you don't have the Elpis hammer, because she's not really there to do damage, she's there to make sure the team survives. And I have a plus 20 stats badge to improve that luck skill. I could give her a plus 60 luck, which would decrease her damage taken a lot more, but then she also loses some endurance, some spirit, technically some power and speed as well, but I don't really care about that. So kind of your choice on which way to go. I'm happy with plus 20 stats. For support characters, Almighty Power Cat Lover, Power of Awakening, and Power of Gale. Tsubame is a cat lover. And Shani is a cat lover. Normally, I don't put grasta on reserve characters that doesn't improve the main DPS's damage. But I mentioned Tsubame does a lot of damage on her own, so I kind of threw that in just because Atoa happens to be a cat lover as well. I figure why not? If I wanted to, I could give her the Power of Offense Wind, and then that would free Tsubame up to hold like another grasta that gives more health, or maybe a Power of Pain grasta or something. But, you know, again, play your own way. I like having Atoa AS in the background as well. Every single time I win a fight with this team, she automatically restores 15% of their health and their MP. So this is a good team to farm with as well. After every victory, I get back any MP that I might have used. Tomei is the other character, and that is because he is an Avenger and a katana user. So he can hold Almighty Power Avenger and Katana Grasta, and those can improve Sesta's damage. Sidekicks, Tetra, and Guns. Forget if I said that already or not, but it is what it is. So I could use Sesta AS. She is Stellar Awakened. She has most of her board open. Why don't I use her? I like the fact that I can go with normal style Sesta. I could fight a boss for 40, 50, 60 turns. Shani is almost unkillable, and Sesta is barrier piercing. So kind of whatever is thrown at me, I can handle it through attrition. I can fight for a very long time. Sesta AS, she can do Twin Blade Wolf 4 times because she's past level 90. And then I have to move her to the back row and then move her to the front row just to be able to do one more Twin Blade Wolf. And then I have to move her to the back row and front row again and again and again. So if I happen to be fighting a new boss completely blind, which happens a lot, and I need more than 4 huge attacks, then I kind of prefer having normal Cesta. Plus, normal Cesta barrier pierces naturally. Cesta AS does not. So if an enemy has a barrier, I have to either chew through it or find some other way to grant barrier piercing. So overall, I actually find I'm using normal style Cesta a lot more right now. That said, I've seen videos where her AS style, whoops, wrong button. I've seen her AS style used a lot of times in conjunction with a lot of Eastern characters, Shiguri ES, Shion, Tsubame, characters that have katanas and have slash zones, and she does amazing damage with them, probably better than what this team is. This team is good for outlasting opponents. I think her AS style paired with characters like ES Shiguri are probably better for short burst, absolutely massive damage type fights. But anyway, this is a team I'm familiar with, I'm comfortable with, and I have a lot of success with. So, on that note, let's show it off. We're going to beat up the poor, mysterious Chaos Ogre hard. He has a barrier. And we have a Cesta. So what we're going to do, right away, we're going to blast the AF bar. She's going to hit Starving Wolf a few times, just so we can get the combo rate up. Tsubame is going to do Dragon Manifest, which reduces wind resistance, followed by Fierce Feline Storm, which improves, in this case, Melody's power, intellect, and speed, but also improves the party's wind attack. And then we're going to do Injaku Neku Rambu, which improves wind-type party members gain weapon-type damage, so that one will buff Cesta as well. Melody will start off with Depravity. It inflicts pain and it cannot be resisted. It debuffs the enemy a little bit too and gives the front line a 50% damage barrier. Then we're going to do Magical Smash, which improves wind-type attacks and critical damage, and then she's going to spam Dark Drill, which will reduce wind resistance and will just, be a magic attack. Shani Alter, she has True Love, and that's automatically cast if she's Stellar Awakened, so I don't need to cast that skill. So I usually go with Malediction first, which improves damage, grants Link, and then I spam Toadstream. For the sake of just streamlining, sometimes I'll hit True Love by mistake in the AF burst, so if I do, kind of it's unintentional, but at the same time it's an AF burst. Every so often we're going to misclick anyway. So we're going to do Starving Wolf, 3-3-3, Starving Wolf, 2-2, hopefully 1, and then all 1s. And watch how long this will last thanks to Tsubame. 1, 3-3-3, 1, 2-2, there's that True Love. Alright, we are attacking. We'll go ahead and Twin Blade. Keep going. The boss is already at its HP stopper, and we're still going. This team, particularly with a full AF gauge, can attack for a very, very long time, because so many characters have multiple hit attacks. Other benefits to this particular wind team. Tsubame has the ability to beef up the wind zone. You'll see that 99 stacks up there, which he just ruined. Well, actually, he didn't ruin it, Melody ruined it. But Tsubame can beef up the wind zone. Melody can redeploy it automatically over time. Tsubame, because she's an alter character, all alter characters also have a little perk. Her perk when a zone is deployed, it lasts an extra couple of turns. So I have 6 turns of a wind zone that can become very, very powerful very, very quickly. Which is awesome because Sesta can do Twin Blade Wolf as long as there's a wind zone around. Well, short of a boss destroying the zone, I can now Twin Blade 6 times in a row. Melody will redeploy the zone for another 6 times, thanks to Sabami. Basically, Sesta has infinite Twin Blade Wolves. Twin Blade Wolves in this lineup. So, just to show off, we are going to go ahead, Stellar Burst, Toadstream, and Jaku Neku Rambu, just for fun.
I'll give you everything I got.
But the main issue here, he put back up his barrier. For a lot of teams, that could be a problem. However, this team, Tsubame attacks so often thanks to her clone, we've already chewed through the barrier. Even if the barrier stayed up, we have Twin Blade Wolf, which is barrier piercing. So we're just going to do all ones. And the second she does Twin Blade Wolf, this fight is over. This team is very, very capable of surviving thanks to Shani. And things like barriers and manipulating zones, this team has a lot of control over that. So that's why this is probably my favorite team. The next team I want to showcase is my fire team. It too hasn't really changed too much over the past 5 months. We have Rinri Alter, Ewan, Stellar Awakened, Iffy, Minalka AS, Stellar Awakened, with May and CL in the background. Sidekicks, Tetra and Guns. Rinri is equipped for support. She has Cherry Blossom Gloves for the reduced amount of damage over time, Elpis Necklace. She has a 1750 HP badge. She has the new Power of Offense Fire, Enhance if Max HP Fire, and Resonant Power Shadow, because this entire team are all Shadow users, so she gets the full 30% bonus for the whole team. Ewan has Elpis Hammer, the Life Changer Bracelet, which absorbs damage as hit points. And he just broke 120 Shadow since the last time I made this video, so he has 2 power badges. One is 50 and one is 40. He has the Power of Pains and Infernal Power of a Pain, Bullseye, Rose with Thorns, the usual, and a 5 extra power from his proof. Iffy, designed again for survival, Purity Staff, Elpis Ring. She has a 2000 HP badge, and then she has 3 grasta that all improve her health. She's able to revive the party members, so I definitely don't want her to be the one dying. Minalka has everything to improve her health as well. Illusion Speed, Elpis Bangle. She has a 2000 HP badge, Power of Rebirth, Healing, and MP Recovery, all with ores giving her health as well. And then she has an extra 5 power and speed for pretty much no reason whatsoever. Back row support. May. The back row support is designed to beef up Ewan's damage. He's going to be the primary damage dealer here. So we have Power of Inferno, Almighty Power. Ewan, when he attacks, loses some health. So the Enhance at low HP hammer kicks in. Now he'll heal back thanks to the Life Changer Bracelet, but he hurts himself before the damage is calculated, at least as far as I can tell. So this one is more helpful than the Enhance of Max HP for hammer. CL is equipped with one of those. There are occasional times where he is attacking and not sapping his own health. And then he has Power of Awakening and Almighty Power's Sweet Tooth. And that is because Ewan is a Sweet Tooth, wears glasses, hammer user, fire user. So all of the grasta are synced up to beef up Ewan. So let's see this team in action. To showcase this one, I thought it would be best to go ahead and come to the new Nagsham test dummy. I have one turn to do a lot of damage to this guy. This team will start in an awakened fire zone. Ewan starts in Vital Flame, and as long as I have multiple shadow allies in the front line, he will always have Vital Flame the entire fight. So how this team works: she is going to start off with Deal Breaker. It reduces physical resistance, type resistance, and so forth. Then I'm going to Blaze Up, which grants this co-op. It's basically a link attack for all characters. Technically, I don't need to cast Blaze Up because she's Stellar Awakened, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it anyway. You can see it improves the party's power, fire type attacks, grants the link, and so forth. And then she is going to spam Overload. Overload improves critical damage, and it also casts Trigger Rush, which is a fire attack. So by spamming Overload, she will be doing a fire attack, keeping the AF gauge going. Ewan is going to start off with Fire Smash to inflict pain, Destruction to improve his own power, and then he is going to spam Lava Impact the rest of the fight. It attacks 4 times, it reduces physical resistance and stacks, it improves his fire type attack and stacks, and as long as he doesn't drop below 50%, he will keep attacking over and over and over again up for 3 times. And that's the reason that he's equipped with the Life Changer Bracelet. When he attacks, he normally would sap his own health, but because he's going to restore his health, he will never drop below that 50% threshold, meaning that Lava Impact will always attack the maximum number of times. We're going to Rosa Liliac. It's Pain and Poison, Nocturnal Procession, and Hypnophobia. In a normal fight, I would cast Doom first to get Rage going. Then I'd probably do Overkill once, and then Mortal Sin. So we're going to go ahead and mimic that, even though this boss, I don't really care if Rage is on there. Alright, so let's go ahead. We're going to do all 3s, all 2s, all 1s. I do have Pain twice on here, and that's just honestly because I forgot to swap out this skill. So you could always do like a Flame Break. In fact, try to work that in. We'll do Flame Break instead and try to reduce fire resistance even more. So we'll do 3, 4, 3, 3, and then all 2s, and then all 1s. 3, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, and now all 1s. And watch Ewan when he attacks. That's 2 billion per hit. And remember, he attacks 3 times. Look at his healing. He's healing himself for ridiculous amounts. We can even Stellar Burst. She can Stellar Burst Overload. He could use Eruption, but that will actually eliminate the stacks that we've built up so far, so it's basically another free Lava Impact. Well, let's go ahead and Overkill, just... Actually, we might not want to Overkill, let's see. Oh, it stacks 50 Heart Fire and it doesn't use them up, so... Yeah, sure, we'll Overkill. And we'll keep doing 1s. Eruption's not a bad skill for Ewan, it's just that in this particular case, it would actually reduce the 99 stack fire zone that we have going on. And if you want to really improve damage, we could always throw in like some combo rate increases, but that team in one turn did... $184 billion damage, which actually might be a new record. I think I had 176. And this team was not geared for damage. You saw that, several characters, 3 of them were geared for health. So if I had gone really all out, that probably would have been over 200 billion. But that is the power of the fire team, particularly Ewan, normal style, Stellar Awakened. And if you weren't aware, You can Stellar Awaken him simply by going to Nopal's Emporium and buying 2 of his star charts. So if you have him 1/3 Stellar Awakened, toss 800 gems, and you will get results like that. And you can see the team's health is still pretty high too. Was that the record? Yes, that's a new record, ladies and gentlemen. So I think, honestly, because you all watched my video before that showed this team, at the time, Ewan had not hit 120 shadow. So I was only using 1 badge. So an extra 40 power apparently made a pretty huge difference. Well, anyway, that is the fire team. That is the type of damage they are capable of per turn, which is a bonkers amount of damage. But, you know, if a boss has multiple HP stoppers or is immune to fire, of course, then this team, you know, might have a few issues. But that is my fire team, which I'm very happy I made this video because now I have a new record. Yay! My next Superboss team is my Thunder team. It's Villette, Obero, Stellar Awakened, Izuna Stellar Awakened, and Orlea AS, with Palm and Sukiya in the background. Sidekicks, as almost always, Tetra and Guns. So the Thunder team relies on hitting a lot. So most of their skills are like multiple hit type skills. Because of that, things that increase combo rate are very valuable. This team can get the combo rate up very high very quickly, strengthening all of their attacks. So when gearing, you'll notice that the usual ores, like HP ores and stuff like that, aren't present. Instead, I have some combo rate enhance ores, some Leopard gear, Winged One badge, stuff like that. So, on that note, Villette is equipped as such. Power Offense, Thunder, and a little bit of health anyway. Obero, Elpis Dagger, Leopard Ring, the plus 50 power badge. And the typical Pains with Bullseye, Rose with Thorns, and Pain with Awakened Zone Enhance. This team is almost always in an Awakened Thunder Zone, so that particular ore damage is improved as long as he's in an Awakened Zone. Izuna has the Elpis Rod, the Dryad's Ring, which improves magical critical strength, among other things, and the Vitality Badge. And I've kind of debated. This badge improves damage by 20% when she's at max health. Obviously, if she's hurt, then that badge is worthless. I could give her a plus 50 int badge, and I'm really not sure which one is better in the long run. But I've been using Vitality Badge in part because the Thunder team is kind of designed for a very quick fight. I'm usually blowing the AF gauge on turn number 1. And on turn number 1, she's pretty much never hurt. So I've been sticking with the Vitality Badge. Is it the best choice? I don't know. But she has the Pains as well. And she has Brute Power of Pain, because right now there is no Thunder Power of Pain. But it improves Pain Strength and her type attack, Thunder type attack, by 15%. Not quite as much as the others with their 20%, but 15% is still better than 0. Orlea is the tank. Despite that, she has the Elpis Axe and Elpis Necklace and a 2000 HP badge. The Elpis Necklace is a good choice because it improves her health as well. The Elpis Axe, just because there's really no good tank-oriented axe. There aren't any that really improve defense or improve health or anything like that, so I just gave her the Elpis Axe. She does have 2 grasta with HP ore, and then she is holding the new Resonant Power Light. It improves damage up to 30% for every light ally, and it includes frontline and backline. And it just so happens this entire team, light, 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 and I believe Palm is light as well. Sukiya is the only one that's not. But I think if it's like the Resonant Power Shadow, as long as you have at least 4 light characters, it's maxed out. Even if it's not fully maxed out, it's still contributing some amount of damage. So that is Orlea. She's a little weak with 7,200 health. I like my tanks to be at 10, 12,000, but it's been working so far. Palm, I'm using her to basically beef up Izuna's power. Palm is one of my very few characters with over 200 light or shadow points, which means she has the benefit of having 4 grasta. So she has Power of Thunder, 2 Enhance if max HP staves, and Power of Awakening, because I'm always in an awakened zone. When I only had 3 grasta, I would usually just toss out one of the Enhance if max HPs. Sukiya is actually buffing both Izuna and Obero. They all happen to be Eastern characters, and they all happen to wear masks. So the Power of Thunder Katana, that's the only one of those 3 grasta that's directly affecting Obero. The other 2 are buffing both characters, Eastern and Mask. Eastern and Mask. So that's the team. Let's check out this team in action. What we're going to do to show off this team's power, we're also going to fight the PTL Nagsham test dummy, which we just got from 184 billion from my from my fire team. So I will say, historically, my fire and thunder teams are the 2 that do the most damage to this dummy. I'm going to show you why. I mentioned this team, each character does multiple hits and is able to keep, with the combo rate and everything, they're able to keep the AF gauge going for a very long time. So we are going to go ahead, blow the AF gauge. We're going to inflict pain right away, reduce slash resistance. We're going to improve her damage. And I should just attack, but I am... In fact, I might try lunaticking. We might try lunaticking just for fun. But normally in a real fight, I would do a defense, then all your mage, and then foundry. So she needs a way to inflict rage. So then we will do buff, 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 and then we will spam all 1s for literally the rest of the fight. What you will see, the way Izuna works, Thundercrack will put her in a hyper-focused state. The second Thundercrack will do a lot more damage. So you're going to see one Thundercrack doing decent damage, and then every Thundercrack after that is going to do insane amounts of damage. Rising Beat is somewhat similar. As he attacks, he gains sparks. Once I hit 50 sparks and cast Rising Beat, it will use up all the sparks, but he will increase his Raging mode by 1 level, which improves his speed and power, I believe, and maybe some other stuff. And then he starts stacking sparks again, so over time, if I can get enough sparks going, he could improve his power and speed by up to 150. And that's raw stats, so all that, improve power by 50% type of buff, all that is going to be even more powerful. So we're going to do all 3s, all 2s, all 1s, except instead of a 3 here, we are going to try doing a lunatic. So 3, 3, 3 lunatic, and then 2s, and then 1s. 3, 3, 3 lunatic, 2, 2, 2, 2, all 1s. And we will go ahead and Stellar Burst whenever possible. Okay, there's the first burst. We can burst Rising Beat. You see that there's those 50 stacks. We will go ahead and burst Thundercrack as well, because why not? So I could try to work in a lunatic at some point, but Thundercrack is so insanely powerful, I just like spamming it. And we're going to continue doing 1s following the burst. Okay, we're at 400 combo rate. You'll see Thundercrack doing 2 billions and 3 billions per hit. We're at 600% combo rate. We're at 50 stacks, so the next Rising Beat improves his strength even more. We keep going. Thundercrack is doing pretty much 3 billion per hit at this point. We're at almost 800 combo rate. 828% combo rate. We're at 99 amped up Thunder Zone, so max there. I think we got in all the Rising Beats, and we did 158 billion in damage in one turn. And again, that's with her being geared for tanking. I mean, if I threw in a 4th DPS character, Xion, ES, for example, at Palaka perhaps, you know, this team could probably do even more damage. So, Fire and Thunder for my teams are doing insane amounts of damage, and I'm loving it. Recently, and I say recently, like 2 days ago, right now, we are ending up a bunch of banner pulls. Nilia is about to expire. Xion ES is about to expire, who is a Thunder character, and from what I understand is a pretty good one. He might be a good character in a Thunder team. But Valette, her AS style, which can be Stellar Awakened, the banner is up. You can see I have 8,000 stones right now. I got up to about 10,000 stones a few days ago, and I'm like, you know what? YOLO, you only live once. Let's just go ahead and pull. Sure enough, I pulled her, and I got her completely Stellar Awakened. I don't have her board fully opened because my Valette only has 20 light points, but I do have Valette AS. And so that gives me access to more skills and everything. I don't know, and it also gives me buff reversal, which is kind of nice. With only 20 light, I'm forced to choose only 3 skills, so that's kind of hard for me to decide. And I haven't really had any time to play with her yet, so my Thunder team currently has normal style Valette, but I think once I figure out what skills might be best, she might be able to improve the Thunder team's damage even more. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. But anyway, that is my Thunder team. As you can see, 158 billion in one turn for a not completely fully optimized team. I could have given her some Power of Pains, for example, and she would have been doing more damage. But, no, I'll take that. So that's my Thunder team. My next Superboss team is my Crystal team. It has gone through a little bit of a change since December. Nilia is now part of the team, and you will see why in a moment. But she replaces Mistrari AS. This team has, like the Thunder team, it has 2 DPS characters, Thalil Lily and Nilia. Thalil Lily is both DPS and support. Her Photon Messiah is very strong. It inflicts pain, Promised Land, improves the team's power, and improves hit count, and so forth. And then we have Apostle, which the more hits there are, the more damage it does, and for Shadow allies, weapon type damage increases. So Promised Land and Apostle are 2 very powerful buffs, but her Sword and Heart skill gives her a tremendous amount of damage as well. She is geared as such, and she has the Brute Power of Pain, which improves type attack. And that is because Nilia has the one that has the Crystal buff. She has a plus 40 power badge. Then we have Melissa, geared as such. A lot of Melissa's attacks depend on her speed levels, so she has a speed badge. If I feel that her health is too low, I have no problem swapping her to an HP badge of some kind. She has Power of Offense Crystal, Enhance if Max HP Crystal, and Resonant Power Shadow. The entire team are Shadow users: Lily, Melissa, Nilia, and Alma. So the Resonant Power Shadow is giving its full 30%. Nilia is equipped as such. She is also geared towards damage, and she has the Gleaming Power of Pain with the 20% crystal type attack. She is the one with the 50 power badge, and that is because, as you can tell, I have Nilia geared a little bit better than Lily. Nilia is pure DPS, where Lily does spend some turns buffing the team. And then we have Alma. Her gear is designed to give her health, so she has all of this. She has a 2000 HP badge. The Lollipopper has been upgraded, so she has 9 lives as well as extra health. And you might say, well, Alma is invincible. She doesn't need all this health. And for some fights, that is very true. But she's only invincible for certain periods of time, and the longer the fight goes, the more vulnerable she gets. So she's only invincible basically for 2 turns when she's in her Alchemaic High. And so you need to kind of prepare. So for the turns that she's not in her Alchemaic High and not invincible, I do try to buff her up with health just to make her hopefully survive until I can get her into the next Alchemaic High. But some people don't play that way, and that's fine. For the back row support, I have one person supporting Lily and one person supporting Nilia. We have Power of Crystal Sword. You can use Enhance at max HP or low HP Sword, and Almighty Powered Nicknamer. Obviously, if you have a sword user that has more than 200 light, you can gain an extra grasta, and then you could basically beef them up even more. I have just one of the sisters who, I mean, any fist user would work, but I just have her. Power of Crystal, Enhance if max HP, and Enhance if low HP fists. So as long as she's hurt below 80% or at full health, she will gain a bonus, and then Power of Crystal fists will constantly give her a bonus as well. Sidekicks, the usual Tetra, but we also have Moke this time because we need to be able to re-enter sword-wielding savior state for Lily. To showcase this team, we are going to fight the Warped Reborn Life Hard. This particular boss is weak to crystal at all points in the fight. And that works to our advantage because Nilia gains a lot of damage buffs if she's hitting weak points. So we will use turn 1 to blow the AF gauge and beef up the team. We are going to cast Apostle, Glint Gale, Moonsalt Meteor, for lack of really anything else to use, and Geist Nebula. Then we're going to go through Promised Land, Nephrite Boost, Horizon Chop, which is a buff for her, and Refraction Bullet, which inflicts rage and gives her the counterattack. And then we'll spam all ones: Photon Messiah, Hornet Hail, Obelisk Kick Special, and Luster Glare. We are in an Awakened Crystal Zone since we have 4 crystal users. That is one of Alma's passive abilities. So watch the damage, particularly from the Lily and Nilia during this AF burst. So 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, all ones. You can see that Lily is already hitting 2 billions in damage, and Nilia is hitting 3 billions in damage. That is insane. Anyone who thinks that Lily is not a damage dealer does not know how to use her. Now, you notice that a lot of damage went Alma's way, and is still going Alma's way, and she is not dying. That's part of her Alchemaic High. She is literally invincible for 2 turns. So, when the boss uses up a life point, you'll notice that it no longer has rage, it no longer has pain, so we have to reapply those if we want. What we can do, we can Stellar Burst. We'll go ahead and do Kaleidoscope. That gives Link to everyone. We can Moonsault Meteor. We can kind of do whatever we want here, and we'll just Hornet Hail for no reason. And we're going to Sword and Heart here on turn number 2. Since we're using it in a burst, that will immediately fill up 5 spots of the sidekick gauge. Now, the boss wiped out the crystal zone. We are in a blunt zone. That's not a big deal. She is a blunt user, so Nilia in particular is not affected by this change at all.
For the power of Wyrmking alchemy.
So here we are, turn 2. Already the boss has lost another life point and has to revive. Alma is still invincible right now, so all the damage that went her way did not kill her. We are still on turn 2, which means Alma is still invincible. And it's used up a life point. You can see that there's a little 10-stack barrier. We are going to Sidekick, switch to Moke, Rage. You can switch back to Tetra or your preferred sidekick of choice if you want. It's not going to matter because we're about to win this fight. So since the boss lost Rage, it would make sense to reapply Rage. It doesn't really matter, we're about to kill the boss anyway. Moonsault Meteor pierces barriers. So it doesn't matter that there's a little 10-stack barrier on this boss. Moonsault Meteor is going to kill the boss no matter what, as long as she goes before the boss. Which, Alma is still invincible, which means even if the boss goes first, Alma will live, take all the damage, and Moonsault Meteor will go off. But because we used Moke, that means we also can do Sword and Heart again, which also pierces barriers. And then we have her doing whatever she feels like doing. Let's just Glint Gale, who cares? Whoever goes first, the Lily or Nilia, is going to finish this fight. Looks like it's the Lily, who just wiped out the entire boss's health pool with one more Sword and Heart. So there's a 2-turn kill with the Crystal team. My final Superboss team is my Null Magic team, which is probably my second favorite one. Compared, my favorite, Wind, second favorite, Xianghua. She's just an amazing character. And I'm still kind of sort of playing around with this team. Xianghua is the main damage dealer. After her, this group kind of is a little flexible. I've had Yuna in this slot. I've had Flammopolis AS in this slot. Myunfa, Alter, and Iffy have, for the most part, been regulars. I finally got Yakumo after literally years of trying, and I, of course, immediately Stellar Awakened his AS style and everything. So I've been trying him out as a tank. So here's how the team basically functions. Xianghua, main damage dealer. Elpis, Dryads, highest int you can get. She has the enhanced special grasta, so she has an extra 900 health and extra stats from that. And pains, the usual. She has Last Stand, or simply because her attack horizon affects all enemies, so in fights where there's more than one enemy, her damage increases tremendously. Or like a boss that has like a left arm and a right arm, things like that. So if you're fighting a single boss, then you could always change that or to be something a little more helpful. So Xianghua is a given. The other three, as I said, this team has gone through a few iterations. I'm still not sure if this is the best iteration, but you're going to see them in action and just see what you think. We have Myunfa. She is geared with some health. She has Enhance if max HP Eastern. It improves damage when people are at max health with the Eastern personality, and Xianghua has the Eastern personality. She has a 2000 HP badge, gear that's designed to beef up resistances. So if she is praying, hopefully she won't get stunned or fall asleep, for example. The Dark Spirit Kakara improves her physical resistance as well. So kind of geared defensively. Iffy, geared pretty much the same way she always is. So Sound Body Staff is great because we have 4 staff users. Mujima Ring reduces damage over time. She also has a 1750 power badge, which I got from the Phantom Crystal dimension. So she's sitting at 6500 health and has regen and everything. Now we have Yakumo AS. Yakumo AS is a tank-ish. He actually does not have a skill that does rage, which is pretty much like if you see the word rage anywhere, you pretty much know that that means tank. And he does not have a rage mechanism. So in that regard, he's not completely a tank. However, he has skills that kind of scream tank. For example, Crunch Time. It consumes 100 magic points, plus 10% of his max MP. It does damage, but it also consumes all of that for a shield for all party members. It's a max 5,000 shield, which means you need 4,000 base mana and you will get the maximum shield. So he has 3,800. So right now, without any buffs, he can almost do the max shield by himself. So he can provide a shield to the whole team that absorbs up to 5,000 damage. Right now, in reality, about 4,800 damage. He also improves physical resistance and magical resistance if I cast this in an Awakened Magic Fates zone. He also has Overwork, which improves all the party's int, all that stuff, all good stuff. And then he has Overclock. It attacks all enemies, type resistance, reduces, ignores defense, but it does consume half of season stacks, which is his way to buff the magic zone. So I'm not really sure if I like the idea of spamming Overclock in an AF burst, because spamming it reduces the season stacks down to pretty much 0. So I'm not totally sure if I like Overclock as the AF spammable one. But if I use it in a Stellar Burst, all party members can gain Barrier Pierce. I can also dispel any zone that's out there and put up an Awakened Magic Zone. So those are the 3 main skills I've chosen for him right now. So as far as back row characters, we want to beef up Shanghua's damage, and we want to keep this team survivable. We have Yakumo's shield, and Mayunfa with her prayer. Damage taken below 1500 gets reduced to 0. So if an enemy hits my team for like 1000 for each character, it reduces down to 0. So between that plus Yakumo's barrier or shield, this team may or may not take that much damage. So back row characters. Power of the Void improves Shanghua's damage. We have the enhance if max HP and low HP staff situations. So if Shanghua is hurt or if she's at full health, she's doing a lot more damage. My Palm, I pull her all the time, so she has over 200 light, which is why I have 4 grasta. If I only had 3, I'd probably toss one of the enhance if max HPs. Fine also has over 200 shadow, so she also has 4 grasta. So I have 8 reserve grasta to work with. So she has Darkshade Staff, which improves Yakumo's damage. And then she has Power of Awakening, Resonant Power Shadow, and Power of Offense Magic, one of the newer ones for right now. So she's holding all that. Palm's holding all that. So this team is really beefed up by the reserves, more so than any other team. My sidekicks. It's not the usual Tetra and Gunts. It is Kumos and Gunts. And that is because Kumos, his auto skill, he can reduce speed, he can reduce shade resistance, but more importantly, he restores the party's MP. He can get a charge stack if I'm in magic zone. And his aura. Any enemy that takes magic damage loses some magic resistance, and their damage that they do to Yakumo or whoever is reduced by 30%. So Kumos, is Kumos a he? Now I'm thinking about it. I think I remember the quest saying that Kumos was a she. Whatever Kumos is. Kumos is able to reduce the incoming damage even further. So if the damage is reduced by 30%, Myunfa takes anything that's 1500 and makes it 0, and Yakumo has a 5000 HP shield on the whole team. Fairly survivable. At least in theory. And then we have Gunts, who is there primarily because the first time I blow the AF gauge, everyone's stats is going to go up by 20%. Kumos, by the way, is equipped with the Healing Jewel. So Kumos, thanks to the Healing Jewel, will restore party's HP at the end of every turn. So he's like a little, it is like a little mini Tetra. Heals, restores mana, and reduces damage incoming as well as magic resistance. So that is a team. Let's check it out. To showcase the Null Magic team, we are going to fight the Shadow, or Wyrmking Shadow. If you do the Riz Saga, this is an optional Superboss from the Records Room. If you're unfamiliar with the Wyrmking's Shadow, it can be an annoying fight for many teams. He has basically some stacks, 99 of them, that improve his physical defenses and his type defenses. And I'll show you those as soon as I can. Right there, Wyrmking's Barrier. Improves power and int per stack, physical resistance, type resistance, 10% per stack, and there are 99 stacks. So basically he has 1000% physical resistance and 1000% type resistance. Well, guess what? Horizon is a magic attack that ignores target resistances and is not a type attack. So Horizon will do damage right from the start. That said, we are going to go ahead and set some things up. We are going to cast Overwork. We're going to put down Pain and Poison. We're going to do Link. And we're going to do Keep Me Safe. Keep Me Safe improves type and physical resistance for the party. It stacks Caretaking to the user's left and gives them a damage barrier. Well, Myunfa is all the way on the left, so what does that mean? If she casts it, it will go to the person all the way to the right. That's what they consider to the left if you are on the left end. So when she casts Keep Me Safe, she is actually going to buff Yakumo. Iffy and her blood contracts, her passive shifts a lot of the damage towards the person to the right who has a blood contract. So a lot of the Wyrmking's damage is going to naturally go to Yakumo simply because he's in the rightmost position. So Overwork, Rosa Liliac, Link, and Keep Me Safe. So here on turn 2, we've already cast basically all of the 3s. So now's a good time to blow the AF gauge. We're going to get Gunts' aura going. You'll notice that Yakumo, his mana has already been buffed past the 4000 mark. That's all we need. So now, when I cast Crunch Time, all characters will gain the maximum 5000 shield. So we're going to do all 2s, all 1s. 2, 2, 2, 2. 1, 1, 1, 1. And you'll see that we had absolutely no problem with Shanghua knocking off the first life point of the Wyrmking. He's going to cast End Breath, but we have the prayer going and we have the barriers going. So End Breath does nothing. Kumos restores health, mana. Next turn. We can go ahead and overwork, we can crunch time again, we can kind of do whatever we want with Yakumo. Overclock is not going to do much damage because it is shade type magic and the boss has 97 stacks of that buff. So casting Overclock is not going to do anything other than consume some of our season stacks, which are 37 right now. So for the right now, we'll just go ahead and do a crunch time. We'll go ahead and Ickerphilia. Actually, we're going to go ahead and Rosa Liliac and reduce the power. Once it revived, it lost some of its debuffs. She will continue to Horizon, and we will go ahead and cast Please, because we have our prayer going. There it is. So we have no reason to pray again, and Keep Me Safe. Yakumo still should have some of his caretaking stacks. There they are, 2 left. So we might as well cast Please.
Pathetic.
Shanghua just knocked off another life point. Boss gets mad, breathes on us, no issues. We are on turn number 4. Some of the buffs that last for 3 turns are starting to wear out at this point. We just redid crunch time, so we could go ahead and overwork again. We'll go ahead and Rosa Liliac because it cleared the buffs. Let's see, do we still have the Trinity buff? Yes, this is the last turn of it, so we can Horizon again. And we'll go ahead and we'll do Keep Me Safe from turn 1. That will buff up Yakumo a little more. Horizon wipes out another life point. Boss gets mad, does another End Breath. This time, Yakumo takes damage. But between barriers, Keep Me Safe, and just general gearing for health, he survived. And thanks to Iridian as well, pretty much back in action. So now, the boss has already gone through all of its life points. So the next time we can kill it, it's gone. We have a burst bar. So we're going to overclock. That will give us back our magic zone because it's run out by now. And at this point, we could Tesseract, we could Trinity, we could Link. I mean, there's a bunch of things we could do. We could even Horizon and just simply attack. So I tend to prefer either doing Trinity at this time to increase skill hits or Horizon just to get some damage in. So kind of sort of your choice.
Enlightenment is the key to unwavering truth.
So there we are in a magic zone. We can check our buffs. We're still praying, so that means we don't need to do I'll do my best, and we just did Keep Me Safe, so we might as well Please. She will Horizon. We will Nocturnal Procession, and we will Crunch Time and get that shield back. And Horizon, once again, blasts through all of its health in one hit. So that was what, turn number 4? That was a 4-turn, maybe 5 turns? No, I think 4 turns. Kill of the Wyrmking Shadow, which is a very high-level super boss with relatively no threat to the Null magic team. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the super boss teams I'm using right now in May 2025. My Earth team and Water team, which definitely feel a lot weaker than the rest. My Wind team, which is my favorite. My Fire team, which apparently is one of my most powerful. Thunder, which is also very, very powerful. My Crystal team. And my Null magic team. I am playing with other possible setups. For example, Shade Zone. I had always heard that Yakumo, Iffy, and Tuva make a great trio. We have prayers, we have pain, we have buffs, we have damage. So the only thing that's kind of lacking is a tank. Well, for example, Shani Alter, if you were not aware, actually is a shadow user. She's wind and shadow. And so she's a tank. I thought maybe she might make a good 4th character for a Shade Zone. But I haven't really had time to play with this team yet, so I don't know how strong it is, particularly compared to the Null magic team, which is obviously very strong. So that's kind of what I've been playing with lately. Now, once again, I remind you, these are my teams. This is what I have access to. This is the gear. This is the grasta that I've collected over the years, and it is years. These aren't necessarily the best teams. They work for me for most bosses, so I'm happy with them. But please don't think that I'm trying to brag or show off. My goal with these videos, as always, is to let you look at what characters you have access to and try to form teams that have similar capabilities. So for example, let's say that you do have Xianghua, but you don't, let's switch him back, but you don't have Myunfa, Iffy, or Yakumo. What do you do? Well, Iffy's main contributions, let's get this done. Iffy's main contributions are being able to cause pain and to beef up the team. Look through your characters, who else can cause pain, who all can cast buffs, etc. For example, Kuchinawa. Kuchinawa is a staff user, magic user, and one of his skills, once I find it, I think it's Piercing Stones, yes. Piercing Stones inflicts pain and ignores target resistance. So Kuchinawa could be your pain setter, for example. He also, if you have him Stellar Awakened, I do not, but if you have him Stellar Awakened, he is a great debuffer. He can really reduce an enemy's power, intellect. He even reduces their endurance and spirit, making them easier to hurt. So Kuchinawa might be a good fit there. Well, let's say that you don't have Yakumo. I certainly didn't for years. Who would be a good replacement? Oh, good old Yuna, maybe, would be a good choice.
Are you sure?
Yes, I am sure. Thank you. Yuna's skills: she can heal the team, she can provide an MP regen, she can beef up the team's hit points, she can beef up their mana levels, she can reduce enemies' power or intellect if I choose to. She could also inflict pain, and it's persistent. She can buff the party. She can cast Burn Away, which reduces the enemy's power and intellect and stacks. And the stacks stay until she's knocked out. So you can reduce the enemy's power by up to 150 points. That reduces a lot of damage. Combine that with Kuchinawa's debuffs, and the enemy probably would hit like a little kitten. And then she even has Divine Vessel, which kind of does all of that if you happen to have her Stellar Awakened. It does the Burn Away and Stacks Inspired all in the same move. And she can even revive characters. So Yuna might be a good partner, and Kuchinawa might be a good partner for Xianghua. Let's say that you don't have Myunfa. Myunfa, besides doing prayers, can set the magic zone. So instead, Xianghua can set the magic zone as well, but you don't want to waste a turn with Xianghua setting a zone when someone else can do it. Well, Impel is a free character. I have no idea what you said, but I'm sure it was cool. So, Impel, there it is, Chrono Reversal, deploys Magic Zone. So he can be the one that deploys Magic Zone, and then Xianghua could awaken it if we wanted to. He also has a party buff, where if the fight lasts for basically 10 turns, he gives everyone 50% extra int and power. Not that a magic team really wants power. And speed. If tactics level is at a certain level, the buff is actually 75%. And then he has Spiral Wand, which inflicts weapon break magic, which makes all magic damage more powerful. Well, this whole team does magic damage, so this could be a very valid team. I've never tried it before, but in theory, it would work. It's missing technically a tank, but technically Yakumo wasn't a tank either. He just happened to have a lot of defensive type capabilities. Please don't think that these are the best teams available in 2025 right now. I know they're not. In fact, as much as I love my wind team, most people that I know of are using Sesta AS. Their tank is usually Shiguri ES, Stellar Awakened. Mine is not. But he is an excellent wind tank. The two of them are causing mass chaos everywhere. And the other characters could be like Xion and so forth. So look at your teams. The one common thread: every team that I've made has one super powerful damage dealer, usually some way to mitigate damage. Damage dealer, tank. Damage dealer, well, tank. Damage dealer, tank. 2 damage dealers, tank. 2 damage dealers, tank. Damage dealer, and Yakumo AS, who's extremely defensive. So once you kind of start seeing those patterns...
You know it's my day off, right?
Yeah, it's your day off. You're going to work anyway. So once you start seeing those patterns, look at your own team. Use the wiki, which is an excellent, excellent resource. Probably one of the best fan-run websites, wikis I've really ever seen in my life, to be perfectly honest. And I'm not just saying that like I do not have any hand in maintaining it. It's just a really well-designed and easy-to-navigate site. So kudos to all the wiki creators. But yeah, so bottom line, I've probably rambled long enough. It's been a while since I made a video, but the summer's almost here. Those are my teams. Hopefully they give you some guidance, some direction maybe on where to go with the characters that you have. So I hope this helps. Casual Chrono, signing out.